Good morning, everyone. It is Tuesday, February 14th. Oh, happy Valentine's Day. Totally forgot about that. Actually saw a fun thing on Facebook last week, and it was like, what are you doing for Valentine's Day? It's like, nothing. I'm going to work. It's a Tuesday. Actually, as funny as that is, I wasn't going to work. I'm off. I don't work the weekend, and if you saw Vlog 3, you would have already known that. So, a lot on the agenda today. I got sort of my first set of bills. Now, they're not very much, but, it's sort of that first couple of bits. Actually, the light bill is the funniest. It's $5 because it's that last end of January that I owned the house for. So, I've got bills and bank, and I'm going to hit the grocery store for a handful of things. I'll start stocking up the kitchen. I have a refrigerator coming Saturday, and this is the cool thing. This is totally unexpected. Well, one, I knew I was getting a free dryer, and then when I went to the house yesterday after work, there was a washing machine in it, because it's an early birthday present from my parents. And I was like, holy shit. And as I was overwhelmed by that, my dad sits a manual down on the, or not a manual, but a big receipt packet on the top of the thing and said, and this is from your grandfather, and it's a stove. So I got a washing machine and a stove basically for free. And I was totally speechless. I couldn't even, I was overwhelmed with joy and relief, and I'm still really taken aback by the gesture. I can't even begin to express to them how grateful I am, and I can't. It's nuts. So the house will be fully furnished, and I have all my appliances, and it saved me like $1,000. So that's really good. I basically only had to buy the fridge. So yeah, so let's see what's on my list today. Bills. I gotta call my insurance company for something. Bank, and then we gotta go down to the house. I'm actually really excited to show you guys the house today. A lot of stuff's getting done. Painting is starting to get closer to finished, and I got some new palm sanders that are not new, but used old palm sanders that I can for hopefully finish sanding the floor with. So today's big project is sanding, and then some stuff in the morning. So we'll do that. Okay, so I'm down in the studio now. I literally just recorded that last segment, so really no time has passed, and I'm going to get a new camera battery. But since I came down here, I thought I'd show you guys something interesting. So the studio space was always, it's been my parents' basement. And when I came down here after college, or even sort of before college, I was out of state for about a year and a half, and then I came back, and that was it was the end of 2009, beginning of 2010. So I've been down here in this part of the studio making my art for about 7 or 8 years now. And when I came back, I was like, I need a space. I need a space to work, because I would have been working on the floor of my college dorm room, and occasionally I'd go outside with my easel and paint, but very little was I doing anything. So one thing that I had a nice big flat surface for was an old pool table. And I was like, this might work. So this has been my art table for the past few years. And as I was just mentioning, all the appliances that my dad and my grandfather bought, and all this thing, and overwhelmed and whatever, I was like, you know what? This is going to be my early present to them. Because I was like, you know what? I'm not moving the studio yet. It's going to be the absolute last thing. And I was like, I want to do this just because this is, to me, the least thing I could do is to give this back to them early. So I don't have the art table anymore, at least here. Honestly, though, I can't get any work done right now anyway. It's been like 3 weeks, and I haven't been able to really get any substantial painting done. I'm like, you know what? I'll work on the floor like I did in college, if I can even bear to get anything done in the studio. Oddly enough, painting the walls in my house is sort of scratching the art itch for me. I mean, I get my daily sketching in my sketchbook, and then when I go to the house, for some reason, just using the brush on the walls, that's enough. At least for now. It is starting to build up a little bit, but I need to work on something else. But in general, that doesn't bother me that much. So today, I'm actually going to take a couple of studio things down with me. Since I have that the countertop and the hutch, I actually can start moving a couple of things in. So what I grabbed from the studio today, and I took all of my sort of liquid acrylics and inks off of that shelf. You might be wondering, well, what happened to all the stuff on here? All that stuff is allocated to this shelf, which is where my sketchbooks were. The sketchbooks are already down there in a box. So this stuff is, again, probably going to be the last stuff to move, but it's just over here now. And I took a handful of things from the drawing shelf. There was some charcoal and some stuff that I don't touch very often. I was like, you know what, that stuff I can move. I don't have any need for that in the next couple of weeks. So I kind of just kept some of the things that I feel I don't need right away. Or at least right now, and won't need right away ahead of time. I might try and pack up some pastels and stuff as well, but I gotta see what kind of box that I have for that. I actually think I use all of my medium-sized boxes. I have some really small ones, which are great for paint, but I'm not taking paint yet, so yeah, it should be interesting. Actually, what I wanted to point out here, too, is the way I have a lot of these are watercolors, and these are gouache and watercolors, which were lined up on the back of the studio table. My new studio table is probably going to be a little bit smaller than what was the pool table. And that's kind of how I'm going to line up my acrylics and eventually the watercolors themselves on the shelves in the new studio. So it's going to look probably very similar to this, although I will have to stack my mediums and paints a little bit differently, because this, I can't get to these underneath very easily, and that would be unacceptable in the new place. So that is a little bit of glimpse of today's stuff. So when I am starting to place those new items or old items in the new studio, I will update you guys on that. But I'm going to take care of my stuff during the day. Probably not going to see me again until I'm at the new place. I've got a lot to do and a lot to take care of this morning, and hopefully I won't get too distracted, but I'm hoping to be there after lunch. I'm going to eat here and then go down and probably be down there for about 6 hours. So I will see you guys in a little bit later today. Okay, so all of the stuff that I was supposed to take care of throughout the course of this morning, with the exception of going to the bank and the grocery store, which is sort of one big trip, took me about 30 minutes. So I was like, alright, well, that didn't come anywhere close to what I wanted it. Or, well, it's better than what I wanted, so I was like, wow, that didn't take me any time at all. So I may go down to the house early this afternoon, or even this morning, and then might be getting another lunch at Hardy's Day. So this lamp here that's in the corner of my room actually has a Christmas decoration on it, which I totally forgot about. I actually want to take this down to the house today as well, specifically because it's I don't have a lot of good lighting in sort of the living room and hall area of the house, and I kind of need it there because it gets really, really dark there at night. So I'm gonna try and take that stuff. Or take that lamp down, because it's going to be a big thing, and it's probably going to eventually just kind of stay in my living room, just as a feature, so to speak. So I'm going to get this unplugged. I don't know where the plug is for it. I haven't moved this in like 10 years. Oh, is it back there? I don't know. I got to figure out what the light is for this. So I'm going to take that. I'm going to pick up some boxes and kind of get that ready by the door. Then take my trip out to the grocery store and the bank. And then after that, it'll probably end up being closer to 10:30, 11. And by that point, can probably end up getting lunch on the way down, like I did before, eat, and then work for a good 5-6 hours in the afternoon. So once again, I promise the next time you see me will be at the house. Hey guys, it's about 1:30 now. I've just barely gotten started here, and I have a lot to do, so I'm going to try and make this as brief as humanly possible. So, the studio is sort of in the pre-alpha stage now. I've actually got a few things going on. I brought my spray cans today, and a few things that I don't really need right away. So I've got inks,
This will end up being watercolors, and hopefully all my acrylics will fit here. If not, I'll put a few more down here. This is just empty for the time being. It'll end up being likely pencils and pens. We've got dry media and charcoal and colored pencils. I feel like that's going to be a pretty good setup. I don't know if it'll exactly stay that same way, but it seems to be pretty good. I moved the boxes from this corner to under the stairs where they're a little less in the way. Put the little corner bookshelf there and started throwing my sketchbooks and studio books in there. They're not organized or anything, they're just in there and out of the way. I'm going to be taking some of the boxes back downstairs. I should turn the radio off here. Okay, sorry, I did not feel like talking over the radio or getting sued for copyright infringement. So yeah, bookshelf in the corner, things are out of the way. Because I brought down this drawer and this drawer, so I put a couple of things in them to get them out of the way. It's pretty much still in the boxes. And there's I think a box in the cabinets, yeah, over there. Just things to get them out of the way. Had to move a lot of stuff out of the floor space, so I put a couple more things in there. Brought a lot of stuff that was upstairs down here. There's all the stuff under the stairs. This thing's going to go in the kitchen on Saturday after the stove comes in. There's my washing machine that was such a wonderful birthday present with a bow on it. So yeah, a lot of things just kind of got reallocated down here for the time being because I got to stay on the floor upstairs. The living room floor is now empty again, but I do want to get the camera up here to show you the kitchen floor, which my parents put in Sunday. Because I was at work, I couldn't do it myself, but they said it was about a 4-hour job-ish, which was actually not too bad. So we've got a really nice looking linoleum tile floor, and what I love about this floor is if you weren't paying attention and a little bit from a distance, like when you walk through my front door, you're going to look at this floor and go, ooh, that looks nice. And then you get a little closer and like, oh, they're just linoleum 12 by 12s. But apparently I was talking to my boss at work, he said something about they make this basically just by taking a picture of actual stone and printing it. So that's why it looks as realistic as it does. So Saturday, I'll have a fridge and a stove that'll be coming in as before. Stove here, and that little countertop table will be here. So things will be almost like a mini galley kitchen in the corner. And then that'll be refrigerator. And this side of the room, I just have my table and that little wheelie cart in the corner, which actually needs a little bit of oil in the wheels, but that's probably where that's going to end up staying for the most part. I don't think I'll have room anywhere else in the kitchen for it, but we'll see. It's going to be a good place to put some odds and ends, and the toasters over there too. Over my countertop, I placed in the little microwave that we had. I kind of want a different microwave because it's not fantastic. It's just low, medium, high, and then just a timer. You know, there's no other settings to do things like popcorn and baked potatoes, which I actually have those two things quite a bit. And then here I bought some snacks today, so I got some fruit and some chips and cookies, just things I can eat here that I don't feel like I need to, and there's just some other things in there, spices and soups and things that I'm not going to need for a while. Just things I can eat when I'm here that don't require the stove and the range, or the range and the fridge, excuse me. Because I obviously can't cook yet this week. But once those two things are in, the kitchen will be officially done. I would say with the exception of the windows, but I can't touch any of the windows until, and to clean them out, I can't touch any of those until summer. Or at least mid-spring when it's just a little bit warmer. So, again, this room is now empty because I gotta work on the floors in here. Nothing really new here. Back bedroom is painted, front bedroom is mostly painted. In the bathroom, which I showed you guys last time, pretty much it is absolutely done now. I got the shielding on the bottom, which is a little darker than what was there originally. It looks really nice. The only thing left to do in the bathroom is just to clean it at this point, and the bathroom's done. So I gotta get to working on sanding these floors here. It's gonna take me a while, but it's sort of the big thing in the way right now. So I just wanted to give you guys that update, and mostly, again, just show you this beautiful kitchen floor. I am very, very happy with it, especially considering what was there before, that white roll vinyl with the peeling up, and it was horrible. So I got that, and the biggest thing today was the past about hour and a half that I've been here. I've been cleaning stuff up, bringing stuff back here into the studio. The stuff I brought, I figured it's stuff that even if I do need it, I can make the quick trip here, and it's pretty easy access. I got the Elemental Bottle series. I teased those in a live show, I think. This one still isn't done yet. This is the Thunder bottle. I'm gonna paint a creaky little thunderbolt across it. But it's fire, thunder, earth, and ice, which those I'm hoping to put upstairs in the living room as like a mantelpiece. Not that I have a mantle. I have that window though, so I may end up putting them there or something. Just little decorative items. So yeah, so I'm pretty excited. Things are definitely coming along. Things have really come along since the last update, just at the end of last week. So I feel like things are moving along quite nicely. Yeah, there's also some foamy insulation stuff that my dad did the other day. So yeah, that's the big updates right now. I gotta get this floor sanded. I can't keep talking and vlogging like this. So I'll see you guys in the next update, which will likely be... Actually, it'll be after Saturday, so probably something like maybe Sunday, maybe even Monday the following week. I'm not entirely sure. It's just going to be about, because this week is finish sanding, finish painting, and that's not exciting, so I probably won't be vlogging about that. But after I get the appliances in, things are really going to start coming together very, very fast. Actually, since I mentioned this morning about getting the washing machine and range as presents, this has like sped up my time frame considerably. At first, I wanted to be in that last week of February, first week of March, that split week, because I took that week off on vacation, which I'm still doing. So that's like big move-in week, but we're actually ahead of our timetable now, so I can actually start doing some different things. And at this point, pretty much all the big projects are done, with the exception of the floors, because that's once we polyurethane the floors, you have to let it sit for a couple of days and let it aerate, because you can't walk into the house at that point without basically killing yourself with the fumes. So once the floors are actually varnished out, we can start moving in furniture, and at that point things are going to come together really, really fast. And so when that week comes around, you're probably going to see a vlog from me like every other day, just moving things in, setting things up, and then starting to get a little more decorative with placement of different objects and hanging paintings and stuff. So those are the big updates. Stick around for the next vlog, probably in about a week or so. And yeah, see you guys next time.